Roatan. TEDxRoatán has a number of really great speakers, and one of them that's going to be joining us right now is David Dashner. If you don't know David, he's quite the guy to know, and I've been happy to be in his acquaintance for a long time now. Thanks for coming on with us. What are you going to be talking about, David?
Well, I'll be talking, it's going to be a very personal, intimate conversation of a personal example about living versus existing, and that are you existing in this world or are you really living? Are you really playing the game? And it's a challenge to everybody to, think about where they're at and where they're going. And hopefully through my example, people will be moved and really carefully consider about what they're doing, where they're going.
Now, explain how you came to this conclusion, because if I think you're like most people, it doesn't always start out that way. Not everybody's motivated from the time they're 8 years old.
Right. Well, for me, and you'll hear this in my talk, but just a real quickie on it, and that is, the first 41 years of my life, the world was all about me and what I could take from it. And then things got dark for me when I was 41. Went to a program called Discovery up in Dallas and had a miraculous event where it occurred to where I realized that I wanted to make an impact in the world the rest of my life, and that became a very important, purposeful journey. And so that's what I've been doing for the last 30 years, both domestically in the United States and then for the last 20 years here in Honduras.
Do you think that coming to that realization gave you a life that's more fulfilled?
That's exactly my point. Before I was 41, I was existing, just going through the usual stuff through life and just on the people mover, getting through life and then going to fall into the coffin and say goodbye, world. And just the usual journey a lot of people make. And for me, I said, wow, I've got one shot at this game of life. I want to have some fun. I want to make an impact. I'm going to make it a real journey. And so that's what I've been doing here. And we've really made a commitment that the island of Roatan and Honduras in general is going to be a place where we are going to, do our best to create a positive impact, positive influence here within the people.
I like to believe that I know you well enough to know that, and that you are motivated. Um, Being a small island, I know when I first came, people were very skeptical. I think that's the hometown mentality. I don't think it would matter if it was here or in a small town in Mississippi. It doesn't matter. When people don't know you, they kind of wonder about you until it takes time to break the ice. But you're a very personable person, and also take the time to consider people and consider what they want and what they are looking out for. Is that part of the secret to this?
Very much so. I mean, life, no matter what culture, what country, wherever you're from, life is about relationships. And people are here on this island with their own culture, their own background, their own history. That is who they are. And you don't need to come down here and think that you can walk in and clear the deck and do it my way. I got an idea, get out of the way, I got it all done. They're here and they've got every resource and every personal stuff inside of them to have an amazing, fantastic, and sustainable life. And so when I came down here with my wife and my daughter, we said, what we want to do is we want to take the time to know the people, create those relationships. They have every reason to be suspicious of, yet here's another foreigner coming in with another big promise of this and that. And they drop a couple of bags of groceries and they leave and they pat themselves in the back. What a great person I am. And they go back to wherever the country they came from. And so people just kind of expect all these great promises. You're going to build me a school. You're going to build me some houses. You're going to build me whatever. And they come make these promises and they often go unfulfilled. And so here's yet another American coming here thinking they're going to do something really positive in a way that could really help the island. And sure, they're going to be suspicious. Sure, they're going to have apprehension. They should, you know, and it's part of the culture of the island. As we know, the island has a lot of, they live on a very tight island. And so they have a lot of personalities that not necessarily uh, blend well with each other. And so there's a lot of these little internal conflicts that happen. And so all that's going to be reflected on anybody who comes to Roatan. That's kind of the format they're coming in. Is that good? Is that bad? It's irrelevant. That's just the way life is. And it's not uncommon here, but it's common almost anywhere in the world you come into a new place. This is what you're going to experience. And that's why the impatience of getting to know the people is more important than coming here, running and do something good and leaving. That's the worst thing you can really do, in my opinion.
I remember, I'm gonna edit here. Okay. I remember when you built the Abundant Life area over in Flowers Bay. You put a library, and I came down because I had so many books. I'm just a voracious reader, but I had nowhere to put them. So I ended up donating, I don't know, 700 books to your library. But I got to see the facility over there, and they were very appreciative. And hopefully, somebody's gonna use those books. But I wouldn't have done that if I hadn't known you. If I hadn't known what kind if I hadn't known what kind of guy you were, if I hadn't known you and Brenda were very committed. Brenda's his wife, by the way. If I hadn't known how committed you were to the people, um, here truly actions speak louder than words.
Right. And like I said, I am a guest in the country of Honduras. I'll always be a guest, even though I have residency here. I'm a guest in their country, and I need to treat the people here with the same kind of respect and honor that they deserve, that this is their country. I don't really care if you're a major stakeholder on the island or you're raking the beach. You all have a stake in your own culture, and I will give you that same respect and honor. And so does my wife, Brenda, and our family, and the people that come down. And I think that's really important for them to know.
What would you say to yourself now that you and I are close to the same age? What would you say to yourself if you were 20 years old and just graduating from college?
And from the United States or from Honduras, two different perspectives, I suppose.
Yeah, well, give us both.
Yeah, well, I think from if I was 20 years old and I came down here, I'd probably be partying it up, and the world's all about me, and I'm have some fun. I'm gonna come around and leave. Um, if I was from somebody from Honduras, I'm just trying to find a way to make a new life and have an opportunity where I can have a sustainable life for my family, you know? And so I think I think younger people don't understand really life outside our borders that well. And that's one of the reasons why we came down here and lived here for 3 years when Anna was in her fifth, sixth, and seventh grade. Because I wanted to have her experience life outside our borders, understand the people here and what it's like and what are the hardships, but what are the joys? It's not all just being hammered. There's some really cool people here. They're beautiful, loving, kind, caring, genuine people when you get a chance to get to know them. You get past that first wave of the crustiness. They're really great people. And it's a pleasure and privilege to get to know the people.
Well, there's nothing like a smile when somebody's walking around, and being in a small town, where you can wave at people, is always a good thing. I used to do that. And when I moved to California, my kids would look at me when I'd be driving through the neighborhood, and I just wave at people, and I remember my little girl, Keely, would go, "Do you know them?" And I'm like, "No, it's a habit." I still do that. I still wave at people. So small town. Okay, well, so TED Talks is coming up. It's Thursday. David will be speaking. It starts at doors open at 4. It starts at 4:30. David will kind of be the keynote speaker, and I'm sure that I could go in and go on forever, but I'm going to stop here so we can have some more to learn about you on Thursday the 9th.
That sounds great. Fantastic. And I'm looking forward to it. And I sure hope you come out and join us. It'll be a really fun evening. For those who don't know TED Talks, it's an extraordinary event that's going to be going. They release this material worldwide, and it's a chance for the world to know better who Rotan is. I hope and pray that you all come out and support this event and give them your heart and passion back to the speakers, because it's hard work and it's scary work to stand up there on stage speaking in for 10 minutes. Come help us out, and I hope you can be there. Thank you.
David, we'll talk to you next Thursday.
Thank you, Keith. God bless you, man. Thank you, everybody.